Have you ever felt someone drifting away from you, acting distant, yet you couldn't shake the feeling that they were thinking about you constantly, that their mind was occupied with your presence, even when their actions said the opposite? There is a certain type of person whose emotions are complex, whose heart moves silently, and whose attachment hides behind walls built from fear. They push people away, not because they don't care, but because they are terrified of showing how much they do. This is the kind of obsession that whispers quietly in the corners of their mind, a fire burning secretly, yet never allowing the warmth to reach you openly. It's confusing, isn't it? To feel invisible, yet strangely central in someone's thoughts. To see them withdraw, retreat, and keep you at arm's length, while somewhere deep inside, their mind is preoccupied with every word you say, every laugh you share, every subtle glance you give. It creates a tension in your heart, a curiosity that refuses to fade. You start questioning yourself. Am I imagining it? Is it just me reading too much into their behavior? Or is there something more profound beneath the surface, something they cannot or will not admit? People often dismiss these feelings, telling themselves, they don't care, they've moved on, I'm overthinking. But the truth is far more fascinating, far more human. There are individuals who are secretly obsessed with someone they care about, yet their fear of vulnerability, their fear of rejection, and their need to maintain emotional control keep them from admitting it. Their obsession doesn't scream for attention. It tiptoes quietly in subtle ways, visible only to those willing to look closely, those willing to feel deeply. And understanding these subtle signs doesn't just reveal the truth about them. It reveals something equally important about you. It teaches you to recognize emotional patterns, to protect your heart, and to grow stronger from understanding human behavior at its most intricate. Imagine being able to see the hidden layers of someone's mind. Imagine understanding that the distance, the mixed signals, the moments of silence, and the carefully guarded words are not rejection. They are a reflection of fear and secret longing. To grasp this is to step into a new level of emotional awareness. It's the difference between confusion and clarity, between chasing shadows and understanding the truth that lies behind the mask. And here's the thing. Once you recognize these patterns, you are no longer a passive observer. You are empowered. You gain insight into human nature, insight into relationships, and insight into yourself. There is a reward for those who stay with this exploration. By the end of this video, you will not only recognize the hidden signs of someone who is secretly obsessed with you, but you will also understand the psychology behind their behavior. You will see the subtle ways they express fascination, even when words fail them. You will learn to differentiate between genuine disinterest and the silent fire of obsession that refuses to be admitted. And most importantly, you will gain the confidence to navigate these complex emotional waters with awareness and self-respect, turning confusion into clarity, uncertainty into insight. It's important to remember that these behaviors are not about manipulation. They are about fear, about the human instinct to protect oneself while still longing for connection. Avoidant personalities, the type we are talking about here, are not cold or uncaring. Their hearts are fully capable of desire, attachment, and obsession, but these feelings are hidden behind a carefully constructed wall of self-preservation. Their distance is not a reflection of you. It is a reflection of their struggle to reconcile their emotions with their fear of vulnerability. Understanding this is liberating. It is a reminder that human behavior is rarely simple, and that sometimes the most profound truths are the ones that are quietly hidden, waiting for someone to notice, someone to understand, someone to perceive the unspoken depth of emotion. If you've ever felt invisible in someone's presence while sensing their mind is consumed by thoughts of you, then this video will resonate deeply. It will make you see the patterns that go unnoticed, the signs that are easy to dismiss but impossible to ignore once you recognize them. And once you understand them, you will no longer feel like a puzzle being ignored. Instead, you will feel enlightened, empowered, and ready to embrace the truth that some hearts speak in silence, some obsessions are invisible, and some love is hidden behind walls of fear. So stay with this journey. Pay attention to the nuances, the subtleties, the quiet gestures, and the contradictions. Because what we are about to uncover is more than just signs. It is a map into the human mind, into the psychology of longing, and into the way some people show their deepest interest without ever admitting it. By the end, you will see that obsession is not always loud. Sometimes it is soft, subtle, and unspoken. Sometimes it is expressed in ways that require awareness, insight, and an understanding of human nature. And when you see it clearly, you will not only understand them, you will understand yourself, your worth, and the patterns of connection that define how hearts interact in ways both visible and invisible. Now, as we begin exploring the 5 signs that an avoidant person is secretly obsessed with you, remember this. What you are about to learn is not just about them. It is about understanding human emotion, about awakening to the truth that some people care deeply in ways that words cannot capture, and about stepping into your own power as someone who can perceive the invisible currents of the heart. Keep watching, because the insight waiting at the end will change the way you see relationships, the way you understand human desire, and the way you embrace the power of awareness in matters of the heart. Before we dive into the signs, it's essential to understand who an avoidant person truly is. This understanding will help you interpret their actions with clarity rather than confusion. Avoidant personalities are not simply distant for the sake of being cold or uncaring. Their distance is a shield, a protective barrier built over time to guard against vulnerability, disappointment, and emotional pain. Their minds are constantly calculating, weighing how much closeness feels safe and how much connection threatens their sense of control. At first glance, this can seem frustrating. It can feel like they are deliberately keeping you at arm's length. But the truth is far more intricate. Their behavior is a reflection of internal struggle, not a reflection of your value. These individuals often have deep-seated fears of rejection, abandonment, or emotional exposure. They long for connection, yet the very idea of giving themselves fully scares them. They crave intimacy, yet simultaneously push it away. This internal contradiction creates a pattern of behavior that is confusing to outsiders. They may act disinterested, detached, or even cold. But behind this exterior lies a mind that constantly replays thoughts of you, scenarios with you, and moments shared, whether big or small. Understanding this paradox is the first step toward recognizing the subtle ways they express their obsession. Psychologically, avoidant individuals operate from a place of self-preservation. When someone approaches their inner world too quickly, it triggers anxiety. They instinctively retreat to protect themselves, but retreating doesn't mean the absence of interest. It often means the opposite. The more they fear losing control or being emotionally exposed, the more intense their fascination can become. Their thoughts can revolve around you quietly, their imagination building stories and moments in which they are near you, connected to you, even if their actions say otherwise. They experience a deep pull toward closeness, but it is laced with hesitation, restraint, and caution. Another important aspect to grasp is how avoidants perceive relationships. They are highly sensitive to emotional shifts and changes in connection. Small gestures, words, or moments can occupy their minds far longer than one might expect. They notice subtleties that others overlook. A smile, a fleeting glance, a tone of voice, all of these are magnified internally. While they may seem aloof externally, internally, their attention to detail is sharp, and their interest in you can be profound. This quiet awareness is often a sign of obsession in its most restrained form. It may not be loud or visible, but it is always present. Avoidants also tend to struggle with expressing vulnerability. When they feel a strong attachment, they experience a conflict, the desire to connect versus the fear of being hurt. This internal tug of war often manifests as avoidance. They might pull away just when you feel close, or respond minimally when you seek deeper conversation. To someone unaware, this behavior can feel like rejection, but in reality, it is their way of protecting a fragile, intense fascination. They are obsessed quietly because expressing it openly feels risky. The paradox is that the more obsessed they are internally, the more they can appear distant externally. It's also important to recognize that avoidant behavior is not about lack of emotion. It's about the timing and manner of expression. They do not discard feelings or disinterest you. Their emotions are real, layered, and complex. What might seem like indifference is often a sophisticated form of self-regulation. They want to connect, yet they do so cautiously, filtering every word, gesture, and action through a lens of safety and control. They are constantly monitoring themselves, analyzing how much they can reveal without exposing themselves to vulnerability. Their fascination with you exists in this quiet, internalized space, a space you may never see unless you know the subtle cues. Understanding avoidant psychology also requires empathy toward the way they experience fear. Fear of intimacy is not fear of you, it is fear of losing themselves in someone else. This fear drives much of their secret obsession. They may obsess over scenarios where they are close to you, but do so in a way that feels manageable, safe, and contained. Their mind replays moments, imagines possibilities, and holds on to details that matter, all while their outward behavior may suggest the opposite. Recognizing this helps transform confusion into insight. It empowers you to see their interest without misinterpreting distance as a lack of feeling. By learning these patterns, you also gain clarity about your own reactions. It allows you to distinguish between genuine indifference and hidden obsession. It equips you to interpret mixed signals not as personal rejection, but as expressions of a complex emotional landscape. You start to see the logic behind contradictions and understand that some behaviors that feel cold or confusing are, in fact, subtle expressions of deep attachment. This understanding can protect your heart while giving you the insight to navigate interactions with awareness and confidence. Finally, knowing about avoidant behavior teaches a profound truth. Love and interest are not always loud. Obsession does not always manifest in obvious ways. Some hearts burn quietly, and some fascinations are hidden behind carefully built walls. Those who retreat, hesitate, or act distant can still think of you constantly, care deeply, and feel a pull toward connection they cannot openly admit. The more you understand this, the more you see the hidden patterns, and the more empowered you become in your own relationships. Awareness is not just power, it is freedom. Freedom from confusion, freedom from misinterpretation, and freedom from letting someone's fear dictate your sense of worth. As we move forward, keep this understanding in mind. The behaviors we will explore are not random. They are rooted in psychology, in fear, in deep fascination, and in a need for self-protection. Each sign you will learn reflects a mind that is secretly consumed with thoughts of you, yet constrained by the invisible barriers they place around themselves. Recognizing these behaviors is not about chasing obsession. It is about insight, clarity, and empowerment. It is about seeing the unspoken truth, understanding the subtle signals, and learning to navigate relationships with awareness and confidence. The first sign that an avoidant person is secretly obsessed with you is how they check on you quietly, almost invisibly. It is not always in the form of direct messages, calls, or overt attention. Their fascination with you is subtle, almost hidden, expressed in ways that can easily be mistaken for casual interest or coincidence. They might scroll through your posts, notice changes in your mood, or pay attention to details about your life that others would overlook. These small acts are not random. They are evidence of a mind that cannot stop thinking about you, even while maintaining a facade of indifference. This behavior is deeply rooted in human psychology. When someone experiences strong attraction but fears vulnerability, their attention becomes internalized. They analyze, observe, and memorize without revealing the intensity of their thoughts. Every small gesture, every word you write, every action you take becomes meaningful in their mind. Their obsession is silent because revealing it feels unsafe. They worry that expressing interest openly could make them appear needy, vulnerable, or exposed. Instead, they observe quietly, letting their mind dwell on your presence while their exterior remains calm and composed. Checking on you in secret also serves a deeper emotional purpose. It allows them to maintain a connection without the risk of rejection. By monitoring your life from a distance, they can feel close without opening themselves to potential pain. This internal tension, the desire to reach out versus the fear of exposure, is what creates the subtle but undeniable signs of obsession. Their mind is engaged with your life continuously, yet their actions are restrained. Understanding this behavior helps you interpret their attention accurately. It is not absence. It is a hidden, intense presence that only reveals itself through quiet observation. Another psychological aspect to consider is how avoidant individuals use mental rehearsal as a coping mechanism. They imagine interactions, replay conversations, and create scenarios in which they connect with you. These internal exercises satisfy a part of their need for closeness without requiring them to take emotional risks. Their obsession grows in these private spaces, feeding their fascination while protecting them from the vulnerability they fear. When you notice subtle signs of awareness, like remembering minor details about your life or referencing something you said long ago, it is proof that your presence occupies their mind far more than they will ever admit. What makes this sign particularly compelling is its contrast with their external behavior. To the outside world, they may appear detached, uninterested, or even indifferent. But psychology teaches us that human emotion is not always visible on the surface. Obsession can coexist with distance. The avoidant mind thrives in this duality, thinking about you constantly while maintaining an outward calm that masks the intensity of their inner world. Recognizing this helps shift your perspective. You stop taking their apparent distance at face value and start understanding the complexity beneath the surface. You begin to see that their mind is working overtime, preoccupied with thoughts of you, even as their behavior suggests otherwise. This hidden attention is also a reflection of their struggle with trust. They want to connect, but they fear the consequences of revealing their feelings. Checking on you quietly allows them to satisfy their fascination without jeopardizing the walls they have built around their heart. Their actions are a balancing act between desire and fear, closeness and distance, obsession and restraint. Each small act of awareness is a testament to the depth of their feelings. Even when they step back or remain silent, their mind never truly lets go. It is also important to understand that this behavior is not manipulative, it is human. Avoidant individuals are navigating a landscape of intense emotions and self-protection. They are not trying to confuse you or play games. Their obsession is real, but it is channeled in ways that feel safe to them. By observing secretly, they can maintain a connection, feed their fascination, and satisfy their emotional curiosity without risking the exposure that scares them. This knowledge can shift your perspective from frustration to insight, from confusion to understanding. You begin to see that their quiet attention is not absence, it is a form of hidden devotion. The way they check on you also reveals the priority you hold in their mind. Every action they take, no matter how small, is filtered through their internal obsession. A fleeting curiosity, a subtle memory, or a casual reference to something you shared becomes evidence of a mind consumed by your presence. Their fascination is constant, even if their actions are inconsistent. Recognizing this can empower you. You start to interpret the subtleties of behavior correctly, and you no longer feel lost or uncertain about their hidden attachment. Finally, understanding this sign allows you to reclaim your sense of clarity and confidence. When you notice these quiet gestures of attention, you begin to see the truth beyond surface behavior. You learn that obsession does not always shout, it often whispers in silence. Avoidant individuals may not admit their thoughts, but their mind is deeply engaged with you. Each subtle act is proof that you matter, that your presence occupies their attention, and that their obsession exists even if it remains unspoken. By recognizing this, you gain insight, understanding, and the power to navigate relationships with awareness rather than confusion. The reward for understanding this is immense. You stop interpreting silence as disinterest. You start seeing subtle obsession as a sign of hidden care. You gain the ability to recognize hidden attachment patterns and appreciate the complexities of human behavior. You become aware that love and fascination do not always manifest in loud, visible ways. They often hide behind caution, fear, and self-protection. And in this awareness, you find clarity, confidence, and the ability to see relationships for what they truly are, not just what they appear to be. The second sign that an avoidant person is secretly obsessed with you is their tendency to send mixed signals. This behavior can be confusing, frustrating, and emotionally exhausting, but there is a powerful reason behind it. Avoidant individuals live in a constant tension between desire and fear. They want connection, yet they fear it. They long to be close, yet they dread vulnerability. The result is a pattern of behavior that seems contradictory. One moment they are warm, attentive, and engaged. The next they pull away, distant and reserved. To anyone unaware, it may feel like rejection, But beneath this back and forth lies a mind consumed with thoughts of you, wrestling with the intensity of its own fascination. Mixed signals are a reflection of their internal conflict. They are not intentionally trying to hurt you or confuse you. Their behavior is a defense mechanism, a way to protect themselves while still maintaining emotional attachment. When they sense closeness, their fear triggers a retreat. When distance grows, their desire draws them back. This constant push and pull is the rhythm of obsession hidden behind walls of self-protection. Understanding this allows you to interpret their behavior accurately. It is not a reflection of your worth. It is a mirror of their struggle to balance longing and fear. Psychologically, the push and pull pattern is common in those who fear intimacy. Avoidants are wired to avoid emotional exposure because past experiences or internal insecurities have taught them that closeness can be painful. They crave connection, yet every approach toward intimacy triggers a protective response. This creates tension, not indifference. Their fascination with you exists in this tension. Every moment they withdraw is accompanied by thoughts of you, internal scenarios where they imagine closeness, replay interactions, and examine every detail of your behavior. Their obsession thrives in the space between proximity and distance, making mixed signals a strong indicator of hidden attachment. Another important point is that mixed signals are often a silent expression of emotional struggle. They may compliment you one day and seem indifferent the next. They may reach out, then retreat without explanation. This inconsistency is not a lack of interest, it is the expression of intense internal processing. Avoidants are constantly analyzing, calculating, and adjusting to maintain emotional balance while dealing with a mind that is preoccupied with fascination. Their obsession is real, but it is tempered by fear, caution, and a deep need to avoid feeling vulnerable. These contradictory behaviors also reveal the depth of their mental engagement. Every decision to approach or withdraw involves a careful weighing of emotions, risks, and potential outcomes. Their mind is never idle when it comes to you. Even in moments of apparent absence, they are imagining scenarios, evaluating your reactions, and feeling the weight of unspoken attachment. The external appearance of uncertainty or indecision hides an inner reality, obsession that is powerful, persistent, and carefully concealed. Recognizing this distinction is crucial to understanding the truth behind their behavior. Mixed signals also serve as a test of sorts, for themselves and for you. Avoidants are often unsure of how much they can reveal without compromising their sense of security. Their hesitation is not about rejection. It is about gauging what is safe to express. Every retreat, delay, or cautious gesture is a negotiation between desire and protection. Their obsession drives them to pay attention, care silently, and remain emotionally invested, but their fear dictates how much of this they reveal. Observing these subtle shifts allows you to see the patterns of hidden interest and deep fascination, even when the outward behavior seems contradictory. Understanding the psychology behind mixed signals changes the way you perceive their actions. Instead of interpreting withdrawal as a lack of interest, you begin to see it as a sign of deep engagement. Instead of feeling ignored, you recognize that their mind is occupied with you constantly, even when their behavior suggests otherwise. This awareness empowers you to navigate the relationship with clarity rather than confusion. You start seeing the rhythm of obsession beneath the surface of contradiction. You realize that the intensity of their fascination is often measured by the very tension that feels frustrating to you. It is also essential to recognize that mixed signals are not permanent. Over time, as trust grows and fear diminishes, avoidants may begin to express their attachment more openly. But until then, their fascination remains subtle, internalized, and expressed in complex ways. The pattern of approach and retreat is their method of staying connected without exposing themselves fully. For anyone who understands this, the behavior stops being a source of anxiety and becomes an insight into the workings of their mind, a map into hidden obsession. This sign teaches a valuable lesson about human emotion. Intensity is not always loud, and fascination is not always obvious. Some hearts are occupied with thought, attention, and care that never manifests in clear words or actions. Mixed signals are the signature of a mind that is actively engaged with you while managing fear, restraint, and self-protection. Observing this allows you to appreciate the depth of their interest. without being misled by the surface appearance of distance or unpredictability. By recognizing mixed signals as a sign of hidden obsession, you gain clarity, confidence, and understanding. You begin to see the psychology behind hesitation, retreat, and inconsistent behavior. You learn to distinguish fear-driven withdrawal from genuine indifference. You become aware that their mind is constantly occupied with you, quietly, persistently, and intensely. And in this awareness, you find a new perspective, one that empowers you to navigate relationships with insight, resilience, and emotional intelligence, rather than confusion or doubt.